Hi, hello everyone. Epting here. Thank you guys for watching. I wanted to come and talk from the topic established. And this is really about seeing yourself innocent, seeing yourself without condemnation, uncondemned. And hopefully by the end of this video, we'll all be reminded not to condemn ourselves over decisions we may have made in the past or a present situation or condition we may find ourselves in that we don't desire. Feel free to hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube underneath the video, and hit the bell to receive notifications for future videos. But thank you, whatever platform you're watching on. So I wanted to actually start with a quote. I've written some notes here. And it says that you are, have always been, and will always be worthy. You are, have always been, and will always be worthy. And that is my quote. But you have, it's not based on performance. It's not based on what you do right or wrong. And I can't emphasize or stress this enough, because in the years that we took numerous calls on the crisis hotline, the nonprofit hotline that I founded, myself and my volunteers heard over and over, I've made too many mistakes. I'm not worthy. I don't deserve this. And I believe not seeing ourselves as righteous, not understanding who we are, our core in essence, often prevents us from receiving the best in life. It's there, it's been made available to us, but often we don't receive it. So I wanted to dig into this a bit today by starting with actually a scripture also. It says, "In righteousness you will be established. You shall be far from oppression, for you shall not fear." In righteousness, what establishes us is that sense of righteousness. You shall be established. You will be far from fear. You won't fear that your desires won't come to pass. You won't fear that you're unworthy to receive your desires, because you will be so established in righteousness. And that's Isaiah 54:14. And it goes on to say, "You shall not fear." So this is really, really an important topic. I have thought of three things in particular that often cause us to question our worthiness or righteousness. Because at the core of worthiness, knowing that you're worthy, and you can feel free to look below this video to get my book, Never Doubt Your Value, You Are More Than Enough. I go into it there. At the core of feeling you're worthy is an even deeper root, and that's knowing that you're righteous. You're worthy because you're righteous in all situations and all circumstances. So three of the things that often cause us to question our righteousness are other people, their opinions, the things that they say about us. It could be that they're not even speaking to us, and that insinuates that we've done something wrong, or they blatantly tell us that we've done something wrong. So number one, usually other people, our past, as we ruminate and think about our past. So number two would be our past. And three, situations that we find ourselves in, conditions. Maybe you're unemployed. Maybe right now you're struggling financially, or maybe you don't have the friendship or the relationship that you once had. All of those things cause us to question our worthiness, or even more deeply, our sense of righteousness. And we have to really realize who we are, like I said, to receive the best and the desires of our heart and the best in life. There is another scripture in Matthew 6:33 that says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you." So the first thing that we're to seek is his righteousness, which is also our righteousness, by the way. We have to know that we're righteousness in every situation, in every circumstance, and not question that. Have you ever had a situation turn out or start going a way that you did not desire, for instance. And it could be something, like I said, it could be, for instance, a relationship. It's not going the way that you desire, and you start questioning, well, maybe when I said that to them, this is why they're upset. Or maybe, maybe I should have done this for this person. And sometimes you may even start getting into work. You might start working harder, and it's coming from this place of effort and trying to reach out, trying to call, trying to text. That's all a sense of not feeling righteous. And we have to rest and grace and righteousness in every situation and every circumstance. And often the situation will seamlessly, effortlessly turn around. But what is being projected out and causing the situation not to go the way that we do not want is our sense, that sense of unworthiness, and more importantly, unrighteousness that is coming out of our hearts, or that feeling of unrighteousness. So, number one, I wrote a few things down here as well. How do we see ourselves as innocent and get established? We don't ruminate about our past because there is no time in the spirit realm. There's no time in the spirit realm. If you can believe for your heart's desires now, they can occur now. All is now. All is now. All is now. You may have past thoughts, things that went the way that you wrong, or the way that you didn't want in the past, but you don't have to ruminate on them. You don't have to allow yourself to think about them so much that you feel those toxic, negative emotions. You can choose different emotions. You can choose emotions and feelings of gratitude and joy right now, even if you're having those thoughts, and it will produce a different result in your life. So number one, we don't have to ruminate on our past to the extent that we feel those toxic emotions from our past. That's when we cut ourselves off from the endless supply that has been made available to us. In the book of Philippians, Paul wrote that this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind. He said, this one thing I do. He could have said, this one thing I do, I give more. This one thing I do, I'm praying more. He said, this one thing I do, if I don't do anything else, forgetting those things which are behind, forgetting my past, and reaching forward to those things that are before. We have to release the past. We do not have to think and ruminate and just think, perpetual thoughts about everything that we've done wrong in our past and everything that has gone wrong in our past. Where focus goes, energy flows. We can focus on the desires of our heart, on our future, regardless of the quote unquote mistakes or things that we did wrong in our past. So number one, we need to stop really just pondering our past, shortcomings and past, the things that we would have liked to change in our past. Number two, we have to understand that the promises of God are manifested by grace and not performance anyway. Often we think we're brought up to think that it is what we do that produces good behavior gets good results, bad behavior gets bad results. So we've trained our heart for that. So then when we do something again wrong, we're expecting bad outcomes. We're expecting things not to go the way that we desire. And often that is what comes out of our heart, and that is what is produced in our lives. That's what's manifested. We have to know that we are worthy by virtue of being created eternal spiritual beings of great things, regardless of what we do right or wrong. We stand forever in His righteousness, and we're established in that righteousness. And finally, what I've written here is, you can see yourself as pure, blameless, and without fault at all times, because that is the way you're perpetually viewed by God. You can see yourself as pure, blameless, and without fault at all times, because that is the way you're perpetually viewed by Him. You're not viewed as pure and faultless because of your behavior. You're viewed by Him like that at all times. And when you view yourself that way, and that's what's in your heart, positive, desirable outcomes will manifest. You'll experience those things in your life. So often, our sense of unworthiness is linked really to a deeper root, which is not feeling righteous, not feeling pure, feeling like you've made mistakes, feeling like you've done something wrong. But I want to remind you, and for us to be reminded, that we are worthy and we are righteous at all times as eternal spiritual beings, regardless of performance. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to look below this video to see how you can get involved with some of the things I'm doing. And feel free to reach out, share a comment about how things may have changed in your life when you started viewing yourself differently, or how you may have struggled unnecessarily for a period of time because you saw yourself as unworthy or, guilty. So thank you guys as always. I'll look forward to talking to you soon, and have an awesome one.